June 2020 Integrated Science Paper 1. We are going to answer the 60 questions that they provided us with. Let's begin with question 1. Which of the following word equations represent the process of photosynthesis? You know you're looking for carbon dioxide, water to produce glucose and oxygen in the presence of sunlight or energy, so that puts us at B. Antibodies are important in the human body because they protect against diseases. Another B. Which of the following systems is likely to be affected by the presence of dust in the air? And that should be the respiratory system. Question 4 and 5 refer to the following parts of the flower. We have A, ovule, B, ovary, C, anther, D, filament. Question 4. Which part of the flower forms the seed after fertilization? So we know we are looking at A, the ovule. So I will just type in A for you. 5. Which structure is the site where male gametes are produced? So you know you are talking about the anther there. So I will just type in C. Question 6. Which of the following structures best completes the part of fertilization plants? We have the pollen and we have a blank and it goes to the ovary. They give us petals, stigma, stamen, receptacle, and we will be choosing B, the stigma. Yeah, it must reach the female part of the flower. Which of the following methods of birth control is most likely to prevent the spread of sexually transmitted infections? We will have to go with A, barrier. A condom is using the barrier method. Question 8 refers to the following diagram of an animal cell. What is the name of the structure labeled Y? And that's pointing to the nucleus. So it is A. Question 9. A food cupboard should always be kept well ventilated and cool rather than closed up and warm. The best reason for this is that, take some time to read through the answers, most bacteria need warm, moist places which reproduce. C is the answer. 9. 10 refers to the following diagram of the human digestive tract. Hydrochloric acid is produced in the stomach. That's 2. So B is your answer. Which of the following structures functions as a digestive organ and also produces a hormone? In this case, you have to read through all the answers and pick the pancreas as the best answer. C. By which of the following processes does water move from the soil into the root here? If it's the movement of water or water particles, then you're talking about osmosis. A. Question 13. Which of the following components of blood protects the body by engulfing bacteria? You're talking about white blood cells, the phagocytes in particular. So D. Item 14 refers to the following diagram of the skeletal system. We see X, the bone in the upper arm. The bone labeled X is the humerus. The answer for 14 is C. Photosynthesis occurs in the chloroplast. Number 16. Which of the following toxic gases function by binding to hemoglobin in the red blood cells? That would be carbon monoxide. D. 17. The structure responsible for the transfer of characteristics from parents to offspring is the cell membrane chromosome. Yes, the chromosome is our answer. Question 18. Which of the following statements about respiration is true? Anaerobic respiration produces more energy than aerobic. No. Anaerobic respiration requires oxygen. No. Aerobic respiration requires oxygen, while anaerobic respiration does not. Yes. Question 19. Which of the following are significant sources of air pollution? Oil spill, oxygen in water, volcanic eruptions, yes. Extensive use of cars, yes. So 2 and 3. 19 is C. Question 20. The amount of water entering the tissues of the body is controlled by osmoregulation. Regulation, the control of something to regulate, and osmo, meaning osmosis, water. 21. Which of the following processes are associated with excretion by the kidneys? Filtration, evaporation, reabsorption. So we do have 1 and 3. We are looking for that. So 21, the answer is B. Item 22 refers to the following diagram of the eye. We have 4 parts of the eye labeled. Which structure transmit impulses to the brain? It would have to be 3. That's the optic nerve they're pointing at. So 22 is C. Question 23. Which electrical component is designed to melt and break a circuit if too much current passes through it? I think we all know that as a fuse. Which of the following symbols represents a switch? We are all choosing D. For 24. On to 25. Which of the following organisms is a parasite? A rat, a fly, a tick, a cockroach? It will be a tick. 26. The type of pest control which involves the use of a predator is called biological control. 26 is A. 27. Solar energy is transferred through space by radiation. Item 28 refers to the following diagram showing methods of heat transfer. The method of heat transfer through the metal rod. If it's metal rod, it's connected to something. We are talking about conduction because there is physical contact. Question 29 refers to the following picture of an athlete jumping over a hurdle. What type of energy is the athlete using to jump over the hurdle? If the athlete is in motion because they are jumping, they must be using kinetic energy. The formula for calculating current passing through fuse is, and all you have to do is learn these formulas, right? I equal power divided by voltage. Which of the following is not a conductor of electricity? Carbon, copper, plastic, iron. I think everyone is seeing that as plastic. So we are going to choose plastic. C. 32. The unit of current is ohm, volt, watt, amps. We see the answer jumping out at us as amps. Question 33 refers to the following diagram of 4 circuits, in which 2 circuits are the bulbs wired in parallel. And you're looking for parallel lines, so it's 2 and 3. Is there one with 2 and 3? Yes, C. 34. Which equipment protects a person from toxic fumes? We have a respirator. The ear protector protects the ear, goggles protects the eye, safety clothing protects the body. Item 35 refers to the following diagram of a forearm. The diagram is an example of a simple lever. Question 36. Which of the following formulae are used to calculate the mechanical advantage of a machine? And this again is one of the formulas you just need to know by heart. Just learn it. You could always manipulate it, but just know it by heart. The answer is load over effort. Which of the following are properties of aluminum alloys that make them suitable for the manufacture of aircraft and boats. They're light, strong, they're expensive. You don't want it expensive, right? So you want it light and strong. A. 38. Which of the following characteristics represent most nonmetals? Insulate against both heat and electricity? Yeah. Low boiling points? Yeah. High melting point? That sounds like a metal there. We want nonmetals. So we're going with 1 and 2. We're going with A. The rusting of iron is an example of oxidation. Oxidation is what causes it. Windows made from steel will rust quickly by the seaside. This is because the air by the seaside has a high concentration of oxygen, iodine, vapor, carbon dioxide, sodium chloride. The salt, they're by the seaside, sodium chloride is salt. So what is D? 41 refers to the following safety symbols, 1, 2, and 3, found on 3 bottles for chemicals in a school laboratory. Which chemicals must be handled with extreme care and preferably by a teacher? We have 1, which is corrosive, 2, flammable, and 3, toxic or poisonous. So the well, 2 in the same class, the corrosive and the toxic kind of together, the flammable. Many things are flammable in a school lab. So it should be 1 and 3 that they're grouping together. That is B. The substance X has a pH of 2, so it's a pretty low pH, which means it's acidic. And the answer is C. It's an acid. The following data were obtained in the experiment to investigate the best soil pH for different crops. Which crop grows best in neutral soil? So on the pH scale, 7 is neutral, so we want pH values around 7. Yeah, B. 44. Hard water is referred to as water that frozen, contains alcohol, contains a lot of chemicals, does not easily lather with soap. Yeah, hard water does contain minerals. If they had said that, that would have been a great answer. But yeah, so soap doesn't lather as easily as if you had used soft water. Items 45, 46 refer to the following diagram of the solar system. We have the solar system. They have included Pluto. They started at the sun. Earth is labeled the 3rd planet from the sun. Earth is labeled W. Earth is W, that is A. Saturn, we are looking for the planet with the rings. That is Z. We just need to look for Z. And D. 46 is D. 47 refers to the following diagram, which shows part of a nitrogen cycle. We have nitrates in soil water going into plant protein, animals consuming it, plants die, animal protein, we have body waste. During which of the processes labeled 1, 2, 3, and 4 is excretion occurring? Excretion is removal of metabolic waste from the body. So we find the body waste and it's 3. C. 48. Decayed organic matter in soil is called humus. (49) refers to the following food levels. Plenty arrows here. Take your time with the arrows, follow them correctly. Which of the following organisms is not eaten by a snake? So for this question, all you have to do is follow the arrow out and cross it out. Yeah, that will be the long way. The easiest way is to take the organisms they give you, find it and track it and see if there's an arrow leading to the safe. So the toad, we see the toad has an arrow leading up. The squirrel, you find the squirrel and see if it has an arrow leading up. Not so far. to the snake. Predaceous insect, yes, has an arrow leading to the snake. Herbaceous insect, yes, has an arrow. So we know the one that is not eaten is the squirrel. So 49 is B. Question 50. A non-moving boundary between two air masses is called a stationary front. The answer is in the question, right? And not moving. Question 51. The eye of a hurricane is the region with the lowest pressure. Yes, 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 it is. Which of the following processes results in water moving from the ocean to the atmosphere? So it means water is moving from the liquid state to the gaseous state, and that would be evaporation. 52 is C. Which of the following methods involves the settling of heavy suspended material? If you leave like water to settle or something, that's called sedimentation. Which of the following fishing methods is least efficient for commercial processes? You want the bad one, drift nets, long lines, hand lines, trawl nets. It will be hand lines. 54C. Moving on to 55, the increased pressure encountered by divers at large depths below sea level can affect the ears, eyes, nose, mouth. Yes, the ears will be the most affected. 55 is A. Back up to 56. Which of the following is not, that not in capital letters, a water safety device? The inflatable balloon. The type of energy contained in fossil fuel is chemical energy. Which of the following is not associated with the use of fossil fuels? Erosion, acid rains, pollution, global warming will be erosion. Take your time and don't misread this question. Item 59 refers to the following diagram, which represents the passage of air through engine of a jet plane. We see that the air is going in and it's coming out. So the in is the front of the airplane, the out is the back of the airplane. The direction in which the plane is moving is, well, if the in is the front, it means it's moving from the back to the front. So it's Y to X. 59 is B. And final question for this 2020 paper 1. Which of the following diagrams represent an object in stable equilibrium? There are different types of equilibrium. So for stable equilibrium, you want the most stable option. And right now it's looking like the pyramid. And that completes our test.